Welcome to Frame by Frame, a storytelling podcast. I am so elated to have each of you here. Each of you individually inspire me, but like having y'all together and having this conversation, I feel like creators don't sit down. We always see each other in passing. We be like, how you doing, T? How you doing, Trinity? How you doing, David? It's just like, we catch up as much as we can, but this is a moment where not only we can catch up as people that are peers in the industry, but we can also catch up, tell the world who we are, what we stand for, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited for you guys to be here. So I'm gonna jump right in. Each of you, we're gonna go this way. Each of you tell the world who you are and what industry you're in.
All right, my name is Terrance. I have a video production company, T. Crowley Productions.
Yeah.
This is actually the 10th year that I've been full-time in it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Excited for what the future may hold.
Yeah.
And
Man, congrats on the year.
10
years.
Yeah, for sure. Let's
go.
go.
A whole decade.
Decade is crazy.
That's nuts.
I'm from California too, I'm sorry. I'm from California.
Word.
And been in Georgia for
What part of California?
I'm from the Bay Area.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No.
From the Bay
Let's
Area,
go.
went to film school in Los Angeles, then moved here.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since.
Dope.
So yeah.
Dope. That's amazing, bro.
I ain't know that. That's dope, man. I love the Bay Area. What I think San Francisco is the city and they call it Bay the town. I love the town.
Yeah. Oh, you know
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. We outside. So easy. David Mahone, I like to say first and last name because there's a million Davids. just kind of our thing. Man, I do photography, content creation. I really think like my industry is documenting life.
Yes.
I love life, and I love people.
Yeah.
I love documenting stories. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Like where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? But for production, clean it up today. We gonna clean it up today. But I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. It was one more you said.
Yeah. Industry. What industry you in? Who you are? Where you from? No, you hit it, bro. You got it.
Come on. Needy A's on my test.
So I'm Trinity Morton. I'm a photographer. I do a whole bunch of other things like singing, hairstyling, makeup if I had to step in, and all that good stuff. So anything that my clients need, if they're missing it, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina, but my studio is in Union, South Carolina. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's go straight in. First of all, Trinity, David, both of you have studios. We were talking off camera. First of all, to have a studio in 2024 it's crazy because it's really the opposite.
Yeah.
You guys are living in a blessing that you guys are able to own something that is a lot of people that have been around, it's some of our dreams to have, that. And so I want you guys to dive in about, just what it's like to have a studio during these times. You said yours is it Spartanburg?
Mine is in Union, South Carolina.
In Union, South Carolina, okay.
So I got it early this year in January. And the building is actually called Something Special.
Wow.
And
Fitting.
Someone I'm going in partnership with makeup, we were talking beforehand. We were talking about moving big, doing something really big. We had a meeting beforehand. And so, mind you, before I had signed my name on the papers and whatnot and really making the decision, that was the thing, doing something big.
Wow.
And so later on that day, I was just telling her, she didn't know I was getting a building, but it was time because I was working out of my loft apartment. And so I was having so many people come in and out. And I was like, oh no. And when you're spiritual and you feel everything and people, being nosy and all the things like, oh, where your room at? Where your room at? And my daddy, he hit me up. He was like, yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to get you a studio. So fast forward, me and my homegirl, we were talking, and I sent her the studio. She was like, Trinity, I kid you not, she was very prophetic. She was like, I was literally about to tell you that our partnership is going to be something special. So for you to be in front of this building, and before you're about to sign the papers, I just want you to know this is something big, you know? And so, yeah, I'm 3 years in, I'm 22,
Yeah.
by the grace of God.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, he will, like, if you really allow him to, like, take over,
Yeah.
you will see things faster,
Uh-oh.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So now I'm 6 months in with the, building and whatnot. And it's a beautiful thing, but I'm also allowing him to really just say, hey, all right, I want you to do this.
Yeah.
I want you to do that in here. And yeah, so, and I also know the building is here for a ministry. I would have never thought this would have turned into a ministry thing with people. Because they have to have somewhere to come in and really just debrief. Like, yeah, you're coming for a photo shoot, but a lot of people come with stuff that's like heavy on them.
Yeah.
So I'm able to like spot that out. And just ask like, are you okay? You know?
That's my
So
favorite question.
before shooting, I literally have to talk. We have to talk to remove these things off of them. And they're like, oh, Trinity, I wouldn't have been able to really do this if we didn't talk about it. So it's deliverance going on before these things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm able to capture what I'm capturing, because of the space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Lord knew what he was doing. I didn't know what he was doing,
God, yeah.
but the Lord knew what he was doing. So yeah,
That's
Crazy.
yeah,
God.
that's that.
that's crazy.
Good God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So deserving.
Thank you.
And I think that we feel undeserving, you know what I'm saying? But so deserving. God knows where to place you. I think we were talking off camera, and we were talking about how you said, like, someone told you that you are going to prosper being in a small place. And the willingness to follow God to a place that may not make sense to you in the moment, you're going to do amazing things there, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Just want to tell you,
Thank
face to
you.
face.
Oh, thank
Hey,
you.
what about you?
God, dog.
That was heavy.
That
Jesus.
was. But
It was a good heavy, not
it was,
the, not
it
the
was
other
heavy,
heavy.
but light at the
Yeah.
same time, man. You feel me? Yeah, man. Good God. That was bad.
Nah, you're really walking in purpose in it, and it
Yeah.
shows. You know what?
Stew
It
in
even
that- stew
shows
in that,
through the
Jamal.
photos.
Yeah.
Trinity, I be looking at your photos, and I'm like, there's no other photographer that can get. It's not the angle, it's what's emanating from the photo.
Yeah.
It's like a glory that comes from that. And the fact that you just explained the process of this,
Get
that there's something that has to happen before we get to that.
Yeah.
It's actually the process. It's the process of how old school photography was actually made. It went through a process. It went to a dark room. It got developed in the dark.
Wow.
It came out of the dark, and then now it's in the light, and it doesn't look like how it came in. And I think the process of how you're taking the photo and what's happening before is indicative of how actually photos should be taken, even though we're doing it faster now. But there's still a process that has to happen. People have to be prepared mentally and spiritually before they take a photo.
Absolutely.
Or you will literally see how bound up they are on video.
Absolutely.
See how bound up they are on photo, especially on video, baby.
Corrected.
Exactly. A photo, we can look, touch it right. Well, on video, you see the spirit of a man that, and I'm sure you feel that when they walk in. And I think that I said on another episode that I'm willing to have any religion, person of anyone, but creators with the Holy Spirit is just a little different. Excuse me, it's a lot different. You really come into like when you get to the gig or when the gig gets to you, when you're really led of the Holy Spirit, He will show you exactly how to bring that thing to life. And that's what I feel from your photos. It literally jumps out at me. I be seeing people and I'm just like, that's a different glow than I saw last week when I just walked by. And there's something, and to know that is what, that God has you doing that.
Yeah.
You're in purpose. Keep going. If you ever need anything, let us know.
Oh,
Seriously.
Thank you so much.
Seriously. In purpose.
Oh.
On purpose.
Yeah.
I had to let you stew in that.
Yeah, no,
it was go ahead, bro. It's like
I saw the dark room. I said, Jesus.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So, family got a studio. It's really my family's studio, not just mine.
Wow.
And I love that because it's birthed out of legacy, right? So my granddaddy was entrepreneur, black academic thinker. He did his thing. He owned a gas station which now used to be Perry Homes, across from Perry Homes. But he was renting the land from this the tenant, and so he rented to own it. Then he owned it. The neighborhood changed, and so then it became what it became. But now, 20 years from when he closed down, now the property value is crazy. So my mom and my auntie ended up selling it. My mom was like, I'm not just gonna take this money as this is a lottery ticket, but we're gonna use this money and I'm investing in my kids. And so that's what she did, right?
Shout out to
Took in
Mom.
that same seed from my, I'm saying, my granddaddy, putting it into us.
Wow.
And we have my own studios. And what's the interesting thing about it, man, some of the same stuff you're talking about, my mom walking through the studio every week praying for that.
Yeah. Wow.
No matter the photographer or the client, we want deliverance and the Holy Ghost to come.
Yeah.
My
Shout out to
mama
Mom.
don't do anything.
Yeah, she
else.
gonna go
there.
She gonna assistant pastor. That's what she gonna do. She gonna pray. She gonna pray the Holy Ghost down. So man, that's I'm glad I'm in a I would say creative collective where there's other creators that think like that, because man, we run into so many different industries, man, where you're the only one.
Yeah.
You by yourself.
Yeah.
But like my dad always tell me, 7,000 ain't about a bell too. And so it's cool to be. Thank you, Jamal, that I'm in a space like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, man? And you bring creatives together.
Bro,
Like, we
absolutely.
can talk about creating, but also, man, we welcome God into that space as well. Man.
Yeah.
We pull from that place.
Yeah.
We pull from that place. My grandmother, she would always say, everything is spiritual, Terrance.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, I didn't quite understand, because I was just like, okay, everything is spiritual. Like, you just don't want me to listen to secular music. That's really what it is, grandma. You don't want me to listen to Usher. I was like, his name is Usher. No, but everything is spiritual. Everything. We pull that from a place with all of our knowledge and wisdom and our schooling and education and our technical skills, everything, with all of that, with all of social media and having access to all of this information, we are still, what sets us apart is that we pull from a place that is not like, it never goes lacking. So I can create a graphic every day this week because I'm pulling from a place of, I'm not pulling from a place of lack. Or I'm not pulling just from my place of education or just my place of, what I went to school and figured out.
Yeah.
I'm pulling from that place. But Terrance, let's speak to tenure. Because, and how throughout the years, like, how you believe your relationship with God, your upbringing in church, which you shared a few stories with me, which were hilarious about your upbringing in church. But how does that impact your creativity as a creative, and even as a businessman? Because you're not just creative, you are an entrepreneur. But as a creative, so how does spirituality, as your walk with God, how does all of that work together?
I honestly thank my mother for really just raising me in church. I mean, of course, when you growing in church, it's just church,
Yeah.
Till you get to a certain age where you start really understanding. And really, I thought I had a great relationship with God in high school and even a little bit after that, but I really didn't start to me really like having that strong, like where you actually you're living the songs that you used to sing about growing up, and it's hitting different, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think I would be able to really be an entrepreneur if I had never had that faith-based growing, because it helps so much now. Like, I can't really just go on without it type thing, you know? And then it helps that when I, work in the faith-based community, some of the projects, sometimes you just don't feel like working on anything. You know what I'm saying? Just like the other day, I just was not feeling like working on nothing. And it was a live recording. I'm like, I started having a whole worship moment in my editing bay simply because of that. And then God just has surrounded me just the type of clients, and everybody may not be faith-based, but they're still faith-based inside of them. You know what I'm saying? So whatever we still do, it has some type of spiritual element to it where it's encouraging, motivational, inspiring, or anything. But I don't think I could go on without that relationship because I depend on it so much. And literally, even just like to the fact now, even just like the worship reels and stuff like that, I had to figure out a way, because I have a mime dance background and just dance background, period. But throughout my 20s, I had to almost let that go. Because when you get to a certain age, the priorities have to make sense. Like, I never ever wanted to be like a dancer, or, you know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted to incorporate it, but I never wanted to. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I had to just figure it out. And my priorities had to just go straight to video. But then within that, like, my praise still gets me through those edits. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many nights where I just literally have to go into the bathroom and just like completely just let God have it. Like, literally just go in. And sometimes I just shock myself, like, I never knew I could go to, because sometimes when you grow up in churches, it's like, that's where it is. And then, like, as the older you get, those moments, it happens.
You cultivate them at
with
home.
you.
They're supposed to be at home.
It's supposed to be at home.
You know what's so crazy about that, T? And I love that because it's so relatable. Like, I was taught, before I was taught anything at church, I saw it at home. I saw praise at home, and I saw prophecy at home.
Good.
I saw all of these things. I saw it at home in the living room. So at church was like a brief moment. But because of that, it allowed to cultivate a lifestyle. And what I've observed about you from up close, and it's embedded in your DNA, not just from going to church, but you have a lifestyle. And I think lifestyle is what I really want to talk about with creators, because it's a lifestyle of preparation that goes into this. Most of what we do is prep.
Oh, pre-production, everything. Gotta pre-pro.
Most of our day, Terrance, is
everything is preparation.
Prepping.
Absolutely.
And what I really want to leave with the next generation of creatives is your greatest strength is within your preparation. Your gift, whatever it is, y'all are not gonna see my anything from college from me. Ever. It was terrible. But you know what? It was bad. But you know what concept? Preparation. You have to prepare. You have to prepare for where you want to go. And the lack thereof is just, it shows up. As gifted and talented as you are, it will show up if you are not prepared. I'm a witness. It has happened to me all last year, baby. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna open it up. All last year, anything that I was not prepared for, I failed. And I sat there on the floor, wondering, oh my God, but but without preparation, you fail.
Absolutely.
But you know what? These reels, they're the mountaintops, quite literally.
Yes.
Sometimes the mountaintop experiences, and it's the REAL moments that make those REELS. Like they make them even more real. You know,
That's your church, boy.
That's
church.
But people see those and you know they applaud us. They're, wow, you're so wonderful, you're so great, you know, all that type of stuff. And oftentimes we're not even posting for that. We're posting because this was a dope experience for us,
Yeah.
right? But what are some real moments, REAL moments that have made those high moments worth posting, worth showing, worth sharing?
Man, when I first got started with photography, like post college, and it's when like social was like, yeah, like I see you, right?
Yeah,
And everybody give me that I see you, but them bills like, hey, bro, I see you too.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I'm with people, and you know God helped me cultivate the skill, but that bank account went
Rough.
scruff. Them Quick Trip hot dogs were looking like steaks. You
Jesus.
feel me? God, I need you to do it. I need you to do it. Do it. I don't know what it is. Do it.
Whatever it is.
Work it out. Please. Like, but like during that whole time, man, I was learning like the ins and outs of my camera, man. At that time, back then, I'm shooting with one lens. I'm nifty 50.
Nifty?
Gigs, man.
That was a lens.
Yeah.
I'm showing up the gigs, and I see bro got the 600 mm. I'm oh, that's nice. My lens black, his lens like white and black
Black
with
with the
red
hook.
trim. I'm like, damn, okay. But we doing it anyway. You gotta go. You gotta. What Cat Williams said? We line up. We line up. Gets each other, boy. I had to still do my thing, but it got to a point where like, in that I just stayed faithful.
Yeah.
I stayed faithful, man, and watched God just kept elevating because I kept trying. I kept showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I graduated college. I'm working at Coca-Cola, man, and at the base level, peon and stuff. But I would call out because they were like, hey, bro, you know, such and such is gonna be here. Can you pull up tomorrow? And tomorrow is like Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm in Atlanta. It sounds kind of close. You're like, oh, Georgia, Florida. Nah,
It's
Georgia's
not close.
huge
Yeah.
and Florida's also big. That's the 10, 12 hour drive.
Yeah.
If you drive it straight. But we'll do it.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where like people now is like, oh man, I know you in the city. When I come to the city, you know, let's do it. Bro.
They're looking directly
Yeah.
for you. What I want to say about your 50, your nifty 50 was that was definitely your slingshot and 5 stones. Yeah.
I know this guy because I was thinking the same thing.
That's what I
Yeah.
saw while you were talking. I saw a slingshot and 5 stones, and I was like, "Oh, that's David."
Wow.
That was your. I'm about to kill it with what I have.
Yeah.
With what I got,
Yeah.
You got to.
and the God that you serve is just gonna let you kill it every time.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for God, bro, we would have graduated, been back in the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like, you know
Bro,
what I'm
you're
saying?
doing amazing things. Bro, I'm just gonna tell this story in between this story. Bro, I got one of the largest calls of my life. And I was like, who can I, number one, trust?
Oh, for sure. Hey. Hey. Man, my people telling me, but I gotta tell you why you telling me too. Man, my people telling me, I'm like, I'm so green, man. I don't be thinking nothing. I showed up in that place. I'm gonna let you tell the good details.
Nah.
Man, I'm looking around. I've been there a million times. Been to Georgia World Congress a million times. I ain't never seen that big.
Right.
I ain't never seen it. I said, oh, okay. This got floors. This got rooms. 40, 50, 60,000 people at a time. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
feel
bro.
me?
Yeah. It was bigger than I ever imagined, and I said, who do I trust to be here and to actually be here? You know what I'm saying? Be present as a creative, but also present as a brother, and as many creators as I know, as many like, and I'm well, you know, I know a lot of people. You were the only one that came to mind. I was just like, it has to be you. It has to be you. And just to give like context to it, it was the last Woman Thou Art Loose. And TD Jake's team was like, okay, we want you to shoot like the red carpet, like behind the scenes red carpet. Like, this is where head of Amazon is, you know what I'm saying? All the people, you already know, all the people. Fantasia, like it was nuts. The people that was walking through there was crazy, and I was just like, it has to be somebody that and the way you showed up, I will never forget that. I will never forget that. Yeah, I mean, your character, your gift, and your character are definitely aligned.
Man, because honestly, man, it was same,
bro.
Pulled up you know what I'm saying? You put up the Florida for me,
bro.
Man. I do like I'm gonna be honest, like I do video now, but like, mom, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the Clark. It ain't on the Clark. You feel me? Man, I gotta get it to you, man. And man, he showed up and showed out, and there was points where we was trying to figure out certain other things, and I sent Jamal just to do some. Man, we looked back at that footage in the editing bay. I'm like, Jamal, thank you. Save the event.
One thing I will never not do. I don't care if I'm 80 years old. I will put on a T. Crowley shirt. I don't care. I don't care. I'm taking off. And I'm putting on, and I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna make sure that it's like, you know what I'm saying? Or at least try. Hallelujah. But what about you, Trinity? What is, I know that question is like fire, but what is like one like real moment that makes, you know, the reels or the photos that you post like really, really like worthy?
So ever since I was a little girl, I've always been a big dreamer. I always felt like I could do anything. And so what I would do is I would write everything out, everything that I've always wanted to pursue and do, all of it out. And I was in a space and place where in my family we experienced the super high and then we experienced the super low. And so it was just like, how are you going to be intentional about making the life that you do deserve? It may be low, but that doesn't have to be who you are. You can pull your family out. You can show them it doesn't have to stay here. Let's shift again. We were once high, but we can go high again. You know what I'm saying?
We can go higher.
Yeah, higher, right. That's so good. So I remember being in college and I could not focus for nothing. I was in college for nursing. And one thing about me, I love to take care of people. I love people. But I couldn't focus because it was COVID during that time. And they'll call out school to be like, oh, school's not today. Come back in like a week. And I'm right. I'm like, oh, Lord. So I'm like, I gotta make something shake.
Yeah.
I have to be able to produce, to do all the things that I wrote in this notebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've always been a creator. I've always been a seer. I've always been able to like fix things for other people. So I'm like, how can I still do the same thing? And I remember like as a little girl, I have a lot of siblings, and we would like get together, go outside in the country, and I would take my little flip phone, have the press record, and I'm like, you're this character, you're that character, and you're that character.
Put them together.
Yeah. And so we would flow in that, you get what I'm saying? And I was like, Lord, I want to be a Tyler Perry someday, like a Tyler Perry or an actress, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I picked up that camera.
Yeah.
I did. And it's like, I started off my iPhone, posted, and everybody just started coming. And from there, I gave it to the Lord. I said I wanted to be able to highlight only you and not me.
Wow.
And the things that I want for Trinity, I want you to push and be the visualizer. I'm just a vessel.
Wow.
And so he's been doing that ever since.
We see
So
it. Trinity
that's
Beach.
how my
We see
real
it.
became real.
Wow.
And I don't get to record everything
Yeah.
because sometimes it's just like, no, sit in this because you move too much. You do a lot. I want you to sit in this, take this in, and really see why I created you to be Trinity. And I know this is kind of off a little bit, but yesterday I started a prayer box for the building for people to come in and put a prayer in a box. Whatever is, heavy on you, whatever you need to release, just go ahead. Because I'm going to pray,
Go in the seat.
I love my praying friends.
So I started yesterday. I told the girl before we wrapped up, I'm like, hey, got a prayer box. You can, put your prayer in. She's like, oh, I got one. I was like, okay. And so she was writing it out, and I wanted to read it before leaving the building. So she had already left out, and I almost got caught up because she spoke over me after the shoot. She was like, I just pray the Lord continues to just bless you because you're letting me see a me that's always been here, but it took me being here to see that. And so I read the prayer, and verbatim it was just like, Lord, allow Trinity to be in spaces, in places where it only honors you, and do everything that you literally want her to do.
Wow.
And she just went in straight detail. I was like, not my client interceded for me, because I'm always doing the pouring, and they're pouring back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, it makes sense. Because for a minute I was just like, am I really supposed to be here? And he continues to remind me daily. And if it's not daily, he gonna remind me, or he is a promise keeper. He's never gonna go back. You get what I'm saying? So it's like what I've said, it stays. You just have to reach the point. Do not give up, even when it's stagnant, even when it hurts and it doesn't make sense or it feels good. I am a promise keeper and I'm your father, And so, that's my real.
I love
That's my real.
I love that.
Yeah.
We feel it through what you do so much, Trinity. You would not be in that chair if no, seriously. It's in and through, it's in your DNA, like I was saying, like it's literally within your DNA. And this is only like the beginning. These are the initial stages. You're literally in the beginning part, and this is what's happening.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just getting started.
You are.
Just get
Because I
started.
will say, I really found my identity. I really found what I carry. I've gotten closer to God in this than all the other worldly
stuff,
things, you know what I'm
Trust me,
saying?
trust me.
And so I'm like, oh. And it's surprising me. Like, you trust me. And so I have to honor your trust. I have to hold your trust in order to continue to move. And being an intercessor for people, there is a gap. That camera is the gap.
It's just a welcome doormat into a place.
Into a place.
And
right.
whatever environment you cultivate as a creative, your cameras, your computers, your email, all of that is just a welcoming. And then the people come into a space and they feel whatever you've created.
Yeah.
What is a reel that makes the real work it?
I would say now, I would definitely say, just looking back at when I first was moving to Atlanta, I always say, like, I literally moved to Atlanta and didn't know anybody, like, had never been to Atlanta.
Wow.
And literally got in my car, and I was working at Nordstrom Rack at the time, and they transferred me. So I was able to come off of that. But my goal was to work in the film industry some type of way, because I went to school for editing. And that was that. I was supposed to just get an editing job. I wasn't supposed to pick up a camera and shoot and direct and have a whole team and everything.
What?
So that's why it's just like, so just looking back and literally coming from having really, like, I had a goal but no direction and didn't know anybody. And a lot of people, like, when you moving somewhere, like, everybody's scared because you don't know anybody. You know, all of my family's on the West Coast, and particularly in California. So just coming down here and now seeing what God has been doing in the last 10 years is just amazing. But I'm in even another transition now to where now I'm in my early 30s, and now it's more real. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm an entrepreneur because it's the thing and I can make a good living off of it, but is it sustainable for real, for real? You know what I mean? Like, really putting it in place, because do I really want to be having a camera in my hand the next, let's say, 15 years from now, following somebody or doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to make sure that I'm aligning my business so it can actually, like, really flourish and make it without me. And I know that's the real hardest thing, like making sure it can move without you, because I've always had a heart for just making a team and building people, bringing people in. But sometimes everybody doesn't have the same goal. And I know that is the hardest part, is building the team. And like now I'm somewhat in a break of that. I'm more so like, I used to just hire people just for the heart. You know what I'm saying? Because heart, I'm telling you, when you actually need people that actually have a heart, you know, it's good. But then once you start getting to a level of you're getting a 6-figure gig, it's not, you can't just have just heart. We have to have skill too. You know what I'm saying? So the heart can only take you so far. So that's just where I'm at right now, is just this transition and just trying to make sure that I'm setting myself up for the win and for the future, like a real setup, not just, oh, I'm on Instagram and I'm making great money now, that's great now, but can you take off 6 months and still be great? Can you, and actually scheduling those mental breaks, like really scheduling those. You really need them.
We need them.
Oh my God, you need them.
It's a principle. It was another pod, we talked about that principle that one creator said, after I rested, she said, I went to Dallas, and while my phone was off, I got one of the biggest calls in my life. I said, you literally enacted a principle. You rested. If you are working 7 days a week, you're taking yourself too seriously. The one you call Jehovah rested one day. What makes you so grand? So why do you think all of your efforts are going to get you there? It's going to take rest. And what if it's 1 year of rest? What if he says 1 year? Crowley, go see the world and just be inspired. Jesus. We have to, what you are saying is going to help somebody set their mindset up to be like, what if God is calling me to rest in 2025 and not work? What do I do if everything that I'm supposed to be doing this year is leading not to bigger gigs, but to bigger rest? And that rest will refill me for the next 5 years, 10 years of straight killing it. But it only took 1 year of resting, and I'm just going to. And maybe it's not you resting, because I want to be clear, because certain people there's this expectation that, okay, I'm resting, I'm traveling the whole world. Sometimes it's going back to your hometown and seeing where is it?
Oh my God.
Show me, Holy Spirit, show me the gap. Show me what I missed growing up, remind me what it was that I needed when I was here, and it didn't exist, and it still doesn't exist. And maybe it's taken off to see what the missing piece is, and then he shows you a solution, and it sets you and your family up for life. Perhaps that's the strategy, but we think that we gotta
hustle.
Yeah.
That's what leads to burnout, and that's we can all talk about. It just leads to burnout sometimes.
But also what you said is really enlightening, because I know we've had personal conversations off cam about you studying entrepreneurs.
Oh yes.
And I just want to tell you, like, I just want to tell you that inspired me so much.
Wow.
Because it really was just not like, and we had that discussion. We
Dang,
really don't look at other videographers.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that we don't get inspired by other videos. We're not saying that we're Grant. We're just saying we don't really look at y'all stuff. Terrance is laughing because I'll say it. It's fine. It's not that gay. But but looking at other entrepreneurs.
Yes, doers, studying lifestyles, and
Talk
not
to me
just
about that.
I was recently inspired by. This is so random, but I was recently inspired by Martha Stewart. I don't know if you guys. First off, do you guys all have masterclass?
No.
Okay, so and that's why it goes back to studying other entrepreneurs. Like, we really have to just make sure we're studying not just people in our field, studying actual, because especially if we're creatives, when there's just more to us than just being behind the camera. Because I'm looking at all of y'all, and I know there's more. But getting those things like masterclass, I just gotten this thing called Elevate when it comes to vocabulary and stuff like that. But just I'm constantly learning and studying other people's lives. But I was touched by Martha Stewart because she went through so many different phases and even career changes in her life. Of course, I had to take into consideration she's a whole different race and everything like that. But she's also a woman, and she worked hard, smart, and even through the transition, she just picked it up and just kind of kept going. And it's so much to even say with that, but she just inspired me so much, because I'm like, if she can do it, like, there's no other way. And then it also inspires me to get into not just one niche in your entrepreneurship, but like get into other things that can bring residual income. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, like, videos, photos, or everything from here on out, like, you have to be behind the camera to make the money, unless you have other videos that you're selling and whatever, but you're gonna always have to work to make the money. So it's just instead of letting the money work for you. So just letting a lot of those biographies. I study a lot of documentaries. I watch nothing but documentaries, honestly. I literally watch nothing. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and like just also being an African American male, like I take history so important. Music videos used to be like the top of what I wanted to do. Now it's like more third, because I rather educate somebody through stories in a documentary that will actually give them something than to just entertain them for 5 minutes. Black people, we good at that. That's how many of us do we? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of us need to do that?
Honestly,
that's easy. So just literally taking that time and also organizing your lives. Like literally, like it took me so long to. This year was the first year, and it's crazy, it's 10 years, but this year was the first year where I actually had to plan out my day. Because I noticed with a lot of entrepreneurs, they plan out their days. And that used to bother me, like, why do I gotta be like, 6 o'clock I wake up, this I do the gym, then it's just so military. Like, it was just, I couldn't get around it for the longest. But when I started doing it, it really started making room for a lot, because you know, as entrepreneurs, we're always saying we doing so much. We doing content, we're editing videos, we're editing pictures, we're taking calls with clients, thinking of our future and everything like that, and how that could be just so overwhelming at times. And then you sometimes don't get everything done. So then when you put it on paper, actually plan it out. This month I'm gonna focus on this. This next month I'm gonna focus on this. The whole year, of course, you have goals, but actually making sure you're setting yourself up to win within those goals. So, yeah.
There's several things I want to speak to that, and I'll let y'all go. Let's go from reverse. There was a book that my friend, she's actually behind the camera right now, that she told me about, and she said, Jamal, you need to start planning your quarters as years.
Yes. Oof.
You know how at the end of the year, we like try to hustle and get everything done, and you know, we just try to get everything done. She said each quarter should be a year. So you have the push to get that thing out, whatever that thing is. And it inspired me so much that what we are doing right now is a part of my second quarter, my second year within this year. Yeah. The tools to become a successful entrepreneur and person in general are found in those documentaries, are found in studying other people's lives, and like my grandmother would say, taking the meat and leaving the bone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So he can study a Martha and be like, I know I'm not a white woman.
Right.
In America. But I can take the meat from this and leave the bone, which is, you know, possibly, you know, certain doors that would open to a Martha store. But there's so many valuable lessons. But I really wanted to speak to just being a multifaceted creative, a multifaceted, multi-talented person. Personally, they told me not to do all of that. They said, how can you do all of these things? You need to be, what is the saying, a master of one? One can't be a master.
Don't be a jack of all trades.
Don't be a jack of all trades. Who told us that?
You know what's crazy?
Who said that?
There's another part to that quote. I can't think of it right now. But there's another part that
We're gonna
backs
just
up the jack
overlay
of
it
all
on
trades.
We're gonna overlay it on the pod.
Yeah, somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. Go to songs. What's the other play? But yeah, that's true.
They told us not to do it. They said that you cannot, and you know what? If I would have listened to that and I was only a wedding videographer, baby, 2020, I would have been broke.
Yeah.
I would have been down like the other people, but we was up because we knew how to live stream, we knew how to take photos.
Diverse.
We diversified our creative portfolio.
My God.
So that when the time came that there was a drought, there was actually plenty.
In other areas.
For those that actually activated their other gifts. Some God gives 10 talents to.
Yeah.
And he's coming back for a full return on all of those. Yes. All of them.
Yeah.
That's what that's what they prophesied to me and told me. Jamal, he's coming back for every single one of them. So yeah, you can't be behind the camera. Like you have to be in front. He's coming for the voice. Yeah. He's coming for the vocal voice. He's deposited too much in us to just do photo, Trinity.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta do makeup.
Yeah.
That's why you have to do all of these things. And I find that I like sitting with my 10 talent friends.
Yes.
Because so did you always know that you were supposed to be doing this, or what was that early on indication? What was the earliest indication that you were supposed to be doing one of the things that y'all do? Because
I can tap into it. What's nuts is I can see more than me seeing it. I can see where the devil tried to attack me with.
Wow.
Oof.
Like,
Trinity,
say that again.
I see where the devil tried to stop me. So I took what was the program? It wasn't IB because I was small. It's like the advanced classes. We had to take in Georgia. We had to take a certain test that allow you to be a part of this collective of just brilliant academics, right? And I remember taking the test, and part of it was they gave you a shape, and then they said, imagine what it would be. And my best friend at the time, dope artist, man. That boy, he was born drawing. That boy just
Born drawing.
fire. When we went to buy all the Dragon Ball Z photos, it was him. He
Wow.
From drawing to now I understand. All right, stippling to shading to man, just brilliant mind.
Yeah.
I'm talking about doing this 5-6 years old.
Wow.
And I remember taking the test, man, and I remember the devil fighting me on that. I was like, bro, I can't draw like bro. I'm gonna be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? I can't create like this. God was like, bro, do your thing. So I did my best. I ain't fast. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, shout out to being about to get our masters. So it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
But I remember the devil finding me creative right then, and I started realizing like, yo, I hate art. I hate art class. I didn't want to go to art class. Like I just knew, you know, from around. I just knew I was gonna be a certified hooper, certified football player.
For sure.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm the biggest I am now, so it wasn't working. It's not working. I was a smooth 5'11", you know what I'm saying, 190 now. Like it was not working. So I remember the devil finding me with that, man, and I actually took a art class in college. A lot of people don't know this. I still got my electrical engineering degree.
Oh, wow.
And I could still do like, I remember doing IT for the state, thanks to God. And that came natural to me, like breaking down pens and putting them back together. I remember taking an art class, man, and I remember it just opening up my brain. Like I saw the world differently, I understood colors and everything differently. And I took a photography class. And engineering was cool, it just wasn't hitting. Wasn't hitting for me. And I started like just being in art, staying in art. Then I remember God just like little by little showing me little ways I was just in art and how it would work. Whether it was at Jesse Davis Park, I got a shot in the neighborhood. Jesse Davis Park with Miss Shalana, she making us make macaroni Happy Mother's Day stuff. Like God was still trying to be like, hey bro, do it. This gonna be
gonna pay off.
Just to look and be like, bro, like I, end up getting a dual degree from Savannah State, had to wear medallion.
Nice.
And man, I picked up my engineering degree for a season, maybe 3 to 4 months. In the midst of like working for the state doing IT, they ended up hiring me for photography. Like it just, God was like, bro, you gonna have to, hey,
You gonna do this?
this it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think. This is it, man. But that joint was really interesting. Like you was talking about it, man. God just unlocked that memory. Like,
Wow.
I just knew it was like you could tell me some numbers, I can figure out the equation like that. But like art, I just hated it. Like you would think I loved, man, I hated art as a kid, bro. I hated. I would do the fat outline of the color with the red, doing the pitching and then a little shading.
Oh
but
my
then
God.
I start comparing myself to my bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would love him. Give my little 5 pennies to his art. You know what I'm saying? But I would deep down, the devil's trying to make me hate that joint.
Wow.
Just for me to realize like this would be a part of my identity for the rest of my life.
Right. Few points from what you said, but though, like in the strategy of the enemy to people that are listening is comparison.
Oh my
doesn't
God.
only kill. It kills everything. I'm glad you're such a relational person that he couldn't get to that sphere of killing the relationship. But it kills everything. It's poison. It kills the connection. It kills the drive. It makes you, it gives you apathy towards something you're called to. And so that's amazing. And thank you for exposing the enemy.
Hold on. Let me adjust my seat. Because you've been knocking us down.
That's so good.
We're gonna have to get us some
exposed
tissues.
it.
I've been digging some tissues.
It's crazy because people are finding out because I'm sharing it more now. But around 8 years old, I would start having like attacks in my sleep from the enemy, attacking my vision. I would muffle in my rest that I would become so fearful to even speak. Like to see myself, I would see myself in these spaces and places, but so much fear would be instilled. And so that was his trick, even at 8 years old. And so I would fight. I would have to fight, y'all. I knew I was a singer. I knew I was a creator. I can't see the best, but the Lord gives me vision for things that I need to see.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? In the prophetic or behind that camera. I may not see you too well, but I still can
You
see.
be seeing these photos, Trinity. I know. I keep, every time she keeps talking, I keep talking about these photos. But the fact that you saying the vision is not, this is crazy. What comes from that? And the opposition that we face. Like,
And people don't realize, like, they think it's just picking up a camera and making some money. Like, I see people every day. Mind you, I ain't trying to, knock it or anything. But I'm like, do you really see these people? Or is it a check? Because these people need help. Like, the stories I hear, like, I see why I had to go through what I went through. Because these people need help. I'm able to discern, see. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's using my voice, because it's in different ways, whether I'm teaching, leading, singing, it's to help somebody. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, the enemy tried to, trick me, but I'm so grateful because God is just continuing to remind me, you are Trinity, and I'm protective over you, and remind everybody else of that as well. Because some people don't set themselves to actually hear from God. So sometimes you have to unlock that as well for them, help them. I told the Lord, I'm just a vessel.
But it was always in you, and I think that the attack was not greater than the assignment. I think that the attack was just like an indication. It was an indication of, and it wasn't greater than. They called it a little cute name, but you
Right.
they give it a little cute name.
I didn't really realize when you. I was about to ask you about that outside of this because I was they
give it a little cute name, but when my grandma came in that room, she's.
Turn them loose. Devil, turn them loose.
That's
because
what it was.
So crazy what he'll try to muffle you, try to like
You
literally
sitting there can't move, but you can
you're
you're awake and you can't talk.
Y'all.
That
it was the wildest thing, but I think that those tools and having spiritual people around you, like, it helped. It quickly identified. Like, I would wake up in sweats. I come out, my grandma was like, "What's wrong with you, boy?" I'm like, "Grandma, there was something happening. I couldn't. I feel like I couldn't move," type deal. But yeah, that's that on sleep paralysis. I'm
gonna study that a little bit, because I have. Now that you guys have said that, it's crazy how the world calls it that. But then it is
a whole spiritual attack.
It's a whole spiritual attack. My mom told me too. She said, "Just scream Jesus, Jesus." She was like, "Jesus." And that's all I remember doing. And
But what do you always did you always think that you would be in this field? And if not, but what was the first indication that you knew that this was the thing?
There's a few different indications, but I would say the first one, I just grew up watching a lot of gospel live recordings. My favorite one growing up was What You're Looking For. So I know that's crazy that's my favorite Kirk Franklin album, but it is. Every song, I know all the angles, literally studied it, but I didn't know, why I was studying it. Then around 10, my mom got my stepdad a camcorder, which I ended up just kind of taking it into my own. And I didn't realize that I used to do music videos in real time, like press record, do that scene, stop, and then press stop on the radio, and then pick up back, and then go. This is before, you know what I'm saying? Like before real computers and everything, I guess. And then fast forward into high school, taking a film class, and then our project being given this music video, and that literally inspired me. I'm not even gonna say the title of the music video I did, but because it's on YouTube right now and it has a lot of views. It went like viral within our high school at that time. But that really just inspired me to like really pursue a career in video production. And then of course coming down to Atlanta And I still didn't know, because at that time, that's 2014, so 2014, 15, Instagram, 15 seconds, that's all you had.
Yeah.
And us seeing other videographers, that term wasn't just loosely given like it is today. So I didn't really have a lot of people to look up to, or didn't even know that that was a career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just shooting little things in church, and then they're like, oh, how much would you charge to do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, not knowing that this could turn into a career. And that's just literally how it happened. But I definitely envisioned myself. Now I can really see how God was preparing me for today, even like when I was a kid watching these live recordings. And now I can compare them now. I'm like, yeah, this shot needs to be, you know, just little things like that. And how it needs to move you. You know what I'm saying? You can't just cut to it just because you cut. Just because it's beautiful, it needs to be. It needs to be on purpose. I always say that.
Yeah, a cut is not just a cut.
It's not just a cut.
And I think you're king of that. You're king of that. I've seen it behind the scenes, and I've seen the product of the work. You are king of, and it's called having a sensitivity to the moment.
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember when that video still inspires me, bro.
That's so crazy.
That's great. That's so long ago.
I never thought of doing it, but it's called sensitivity to the moment.
To the moment.
And you have to know when it is too much, and when when it's not enough, and you need to, and it's called a sensitivity. And you know who teaches that? That's really the Holy Spirit. Like, he's the only one that can give that to you. Like, seriously, your skill and all of the skill in the world can't make you sensitive.
Yes.
They're two different skill sets. Sensitivity is actually a skill set. And so while you were like, Jay, like that video, like I knew that I was just being sensitive to the moment. I was actually in worship. Baby, I was crying behind the lens. Can we talk about that?
I can sense that through the video. That's why I'm like, because I didn't even know you at the time. I just remember seeing that video. I'm like, whoever recorded this video was being extremely, like they were in. And I could tell that, because you know, people always want to do all these fancy recaps. Don't get me wrong, they look visually great. They're amazing, but are people, the average person, are they going to really connect with that?
Right.
And you'll be able to see off the views. People don't really watch a whole bunch of edited videos like
but
that.
But if you give them the moment.
If you give them the moment.
If you give them the moment, it will, that moment. Maybe Nicki Minaj said moment for life.
Bro. And then how long did it take you to edit?
It was literally, it took me literally 10 minutes. And it'd be the simple things.
The simple things, bro. That's gonna really encourage people,
and
bro.
It was so, but all of us do it. All of us do it. That's why you're sitting here. All of you know how to not just capture, but capture the moments that people remember. And what I accredit to this, like what we do, is that these moments, people, it lasts them their whole lives.
Yeah.
The videos and the photos that you guys are giving people, you do realize in 50 years, 40 years, people will be looking back at it. You're giving people lifetime work. Lifetime work.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, these are moments that last for a lifetime. And so I applaud all of your sensitivity. I'm gonna ask one last question. It's really, I know, it's crazy. I'm gonna ask one last question. What is like a personal hurdle that you had to overcome to be who you are? And just for me, like, my personal hurdles was always, and I feel like even going back to that other thing we talked about, I'm always like kind of attacked in a place that I'm supposed to prosper. So I know where I'm supposed to be prospering based on the level of attack of where it's at. You know what I'm saying? And so it's always an indication. Like, okay, a mental health thing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get. I always recommend therapy, because I was, you know what I'm saying, I was ready to light niggas up.
Yeah.
I literally had to go through therapy. Because I was creating and I was angry.
You feel me?
I was creating and I was so
angry.
angry.
Jesus.
Frustrated.
Crowley, I actually was talking to you when I was angry.
Yeah, I
You
remember
probably
that.
don't
Yeah, I
sense
remember.
it. No, you never mind. You already know. I was so angry, and I never understood what it was. I've been mad before, but I never understood what it was to be angry. I had to overcome anger because anger, I can laugh and do this. We can go out, have a good time. I can sit with you silently. I can be in environments. I can be just as angry, laughing and angry, serving and
Yeah,
angry.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that sounds like a touch of it. And singing. No, but seriously.
So for me, I started like, as I was doing all these great things and capturing and moving around and stuff, I would kind of, like when I would have feelings that weren't of my own, and you know it's not of your own, I started believing them. Like, oh, I have anxiety.
Oof.
And to me, it was an excuse to not really be who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, agreeing to anxiety, sadness, anger, all these, you know, other things and whatnot. And I told the Lord one day, I said, I need you to reveal to me what is going on. Because this was a mix in real life of all those things, including my rest I was getting. I mean, no rest. I was scared to get rest. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even agree with rest. You know what I'm saying? I would agree with the hustle and the bustle and all the things, but I wouldn't agree with rest because of what I was seeing and what I was fearful of, you know? And so he showed me in a dream where I was singing with a bunch of people, and we all got on a bus. And we all ready to go. And I'm like, bus driver, what you doing? He was like, well, I can't move because it's this lady standing right in front of me. And I look, and it was a witch in her full garment, her stick, everything. And so she looked, and she made an announcement to everybody, like, I'm not moving until I get Trinity off that bus. Y'all aren't going anywhere. And so I remember everybody clinging to me, Trinity, what do we do? What is it? Like, what do we do? Like, you know, all this fear, and I could feel some of the fear and whatnot. And so during the whole dream, she would morph herself into different objects and things and people to be around me, to put fear in these very intimate spaces, these very shifting spaces for other people. So mind y'all, while I was moving with fear. I was moving with anxiety because I agreed to it because she was there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it can be hard, like you're being who you are and being who you're called to be, but you can't really be all because of that one individual, because you came in agreement with what they're saying.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just remember waking up from the dream, and I was telling, you know, some of my spiritual leaders and whatnot, and I remember having deliverance, and I had to come in agreement. This is not who I am.
Yeah.
This is not who I am. And we were talking about, we know how intense it is because of the indication of the attack. Was that right? Was that correct? Okay. Yeah. I had to come in agreement. And I promise you, like, I've been doing great work, but I've been tapping into a whole nother thing.
It was different.
You get what I'm saying? A whole nother thing, because I'm like, there's some witches out here and they're watching me.
Yeah.
There are people while I'm singing, like, oh, I wish she would fall on her face and probably die.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
But no weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. When you know who you are and you're a child of God. Because you can easily, because our minds, like we were, that was talked about in church with Pastor T. Renee Glenn, about combating the mind. and having a sound mind and not believing the lies, because a lot of it comes from self. You really have to sit back and say, what is this? And it's all the enemy.
Why do I think this? Why do I, and challenging thoughts, it's helped me, and I'm so glad that, shout out to Pastor Renee, I love her, but shout out to her actually talking about those things within the church environment, because we found that a lot of that some people when we were growing up, they didn't talk about those things. Right? It was also, they didn't relate it to the scripture where it says, casting down every imagination, every high thing that tries to exalt itself. Fear will always try to exalt itself against what we know about God and what we know about what he said, who we are. And so while you came in agreement, you had to come out of agreement with some of the things that you agreed to, which was, I am this way, I'm this way, I'm this way. And trust me, I get it. Like, we have to come out of like, saying like certain things that were spoke over us out of ignorance or just out of like them not knowing or them, you know what I'm saying, we come out of agreement with that and we accept every single thing that he said about it. And that puts you in a new place.
In a new place, a new heaven. You know, because you can experience heaven on earth.
For sure.
So it really starts with your mind. It starts with your mind. You know.
Keep going.
Because the Lord is the high place. No, for real, the Lord is the high place. So you have to think highly. You know, he sends people like that we can trust to talk to, therapy, friends, him. You know what I'm saying? So we can experience it here and really making the right decisions, doing the right thing. And my thing, and I'm a hush, but I had to really come to a pure place. Really letting go. And we say let God, but really letting go for real. I gave up all the things that I wanted. I was like, you do your thing. Because he gave us these dreams. We're not having these dreams out of really self. It's not coming from no place. You know what I'm saying? So he gives you these dreams. And it's like, lean on me in order to really get there. You know what I'm saying? So I had to become pure. I had to be baptized again. And baptism can be crying. You get what I'm saying? Late at night while working. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I've experienced him in such a way where it's really elevated my life. And I want people to see women, men, you can be pure and have fun and experience God, you know. And that's all I want to do. So, that's it.
I love that. I love that. And we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word
of our testimony.
Of our testimony.
Yes, sir.
About you, T.
Say the question one more time.
I know. It's so what was a major hurdle that you had to overcome? To become the person that you are.
It's so crazy because I feel like, I mean, you know, as entrepreneurs, I feel like our lives are series. You know, those series, something happens every series. Something happens, you know. So I could literally say a lot of times, but I've kind of overcame them, you know. But I think right now, honestly, I'm really in a major just transition with myself. Like I was saying, I'm really thinking hard about future as far as the business and setting it up. And then also just making sure that the moves that I'm making, they're very intentional as to where I want to be in the next, 10 years. It's not just doing just regular videos, just anything somebody call me for type thing, just being intentional. And then also the hardest thing for me, I guess right now I'm learning is, it sounds so simple to say no, it does. But over time, when you start getting certain gigs or certain checks that's like, maybe I can just do this really quick because it's, it's nice. But saying no, I'm learning that it could potentially help a lot. And I'm actually right now this year, I had transitioned from a position I was just kind of telling him about, and the last 10 years, I've always worked every Sunday in church.
Wow.
So never having those breaks, never having, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And now this is the first few months, like I finally have those Sundays off, and I haven't even been specifically like in a church on Sundays. I'm still getting my word and still getting fed, but I haven't been there. And I'm seeing just a lot of different things. I'm seeing also it for what it is. And sometimes when you're in it so much, you don't really realize how sometimes it could just be seen, especially us that we're putting the vision out for the church visually, and we're responsible for what other people are seeing. So now, like you were saying, even taking a year off or whatever, but just taking that seat back to be able to see what's going on and then come back and, you know, kind of fix it up or whatever. But I'm in that huge transition right now, like literally just asking God, like, where do you want me to go? And just making sure that my steps are ordered, just making sure that I'm in line, but then also just being okay with being in the waiting. No, I'm serious. Like being okay with just being in the waiting and not getting distracted while you're in the waiting. Because sometimes when you're in that waiting and you start getting distracted, and like you were saying, preparation, that's the time you should be preparing within the waiting. So that way when God finally does start releasing things, you're ready. And you weren't, during your waiting period, you weren't just out here walling out, but you were getting prepared. So that way, literally, once he brings you out, you on and popping. So I'm in that transition right now where I'm literally just in the waiting.
There's so much, Crowley. There's so much you said. You know what it unlocked for me? 3 years, 4 years before COVID, I was preparing for COVID, did not know.
Jesus.
So that when 2020 came, while I was one of the essential workers, you know, us as video, we were essential workers because people needed to see video.
Yes,
it turned
they needed it.
It turned even the culture of the church, where there were churches and institutions that did not revere video, revere live streams, or they now needed them. So all of the research that I had been doing, it now made me an expert in a land that needed what I had been researching and preparing for years.
Wow.
Also being kind of ostracizing, like, why do we need this? Why are you doing this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did not even fully understand it myself. But what I want to say about the waiting thing was that was a waiting period. And then when it was time, it launched my whole business. The business had only been open a year. Are we okay?
Are you okay?
Why are we getting contracts from them?
Oh my goodness.
Are you okay?
They laughed at Noah, bro.
They did for over 100 years.
Yeah.
And the whole not getting distracted in the waiting, I'm a viewer. You know, I've done this. So I need to keep this up. I need to keep showing that I'm. No, wait, sit, stop, see. Look.
Be still.
Be still.
And like.
And then I will show you a thing that is a solution for tomorrow.
Yes.
He's trying to show us a solution for tomorrow, and that's where we're at. We're all in a similar place. He's trying to show us a solution for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because there was a pandemic. There will be other things that happen. I'm not the doomsday prophet, but there will be other things that happen. And he's trying to download solutions, but if we keep moving, going, we won't see it. We won't be sensitive. It will dilute our sensitivity. And my prayer for you is that your sensitivity in other areas will overlap to this area, that you would know which way to go.
Yes.
Ooh. David, what about you?
Go ahead.
You saw her get stirred.
Go ahead.
I'm screaming. No, I was just gonna say your future is secure, so don't worry about that. That's all I have to say about that. Now, I was just about to touch that about what's to come.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I have a heavy feeling it's one of those shifts that's gonna scare the world.
Yeah.
And it's so important that you brought that up about really sitting, hearing out what he has to say to us, the strategy.
Yeah.
Because when the world is shaking, we're
Ooh.
still.
We
You get what I'm
supposed to be
saying?
solid, baby. We're
We're
supposed to be solid.
still. We're still. So it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it don't feel good. And it's like,
Oh, yes.
it's gonna be promising, but no, I'm telling you, because it's about to rock.
Yeah.
And what I've been hearing concerning other prophets, you know, that I've been around and whatnot, and what I've just been feeling and them confirming it, I'm like, okay, yeah. And the fact you brought that up earlier about how the Lord like gave us this with the buildings and whatnot. Other people,
It's almost an oxymoron.
yeah,
How am I prospering in a place where people, not only just my age, people in general,
in general,
they can't find buildings,
Yeah.
baby.
yeah.
They can't find
And
them.
it literally, like, the impossible
Yeah.
turns us back just to
Yeah.
say, oh, that was God.
Yeah.
It's really to push him out front and center because
That's
people try to forget about him.
Yeah.
You know?
They really be doing them dirty low key. Like, they will
Yeah.
not say. Like, I literally laid on my face for this. I prayed for
Laid.
this. I literally, I had my mama praying. I had my whole family, my friends. You know what I'm saying? It's not just an overnight thing. And I know that it looks like this, but this is years years of years. This is years. I show up and, you know, it may look easy. We show up and we snap and go crazy. But this is years of preparation, of prayer, of skill. Like, it's not just us praying about it, but us going out, shooting, researching at YouTube University. You know what I'm saying? We are literally like locked in on this. And this is years of this. And then
Years.
people show up and be like, oh, that's a nice camera. Oh, that camera really be doing. But before you start, dude, the word I literally keep just hearing is solutions. For all of you. Solutions. What he's going to give you will be a solution to a world problem. It is a world issue. It may not be an issue today,
Yeah.
but it is an issue for tomorrow. It is a solution. It's bigger than a business. It's a solution.
I was on the way here, and lately I've been feeling a little uneasiness, just to be transparent about some things. But I saw a car pass by, and I saw the word provide. Provide. He's a provider.
Yeah.
And so just in passing, it was just like, yep, provide.
Yeah.
That's all. You know, I'm a provider. And so, yeah, it's all making sense, like with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, really.
He's gonna give it to us. He's
Yeah.
gonna give it. It does look like another level of submission. Let's not sit here and act like it's just gonna fall out the sky.
Right.
It does look like another gear shift in
Yeah.
our submission and in our walk. Right? It's not just gonna happen, but what he's gonna give you guys, what he's gonna give us, is a solution. Is solutions.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to change the world. We already operate in these areas, and we're really great. But that solution, or those solutions, is going to shape the way your little cousins see the world.
Yeah.
The way they see creativity, the way they see the Lord. The way we think is not necessarily how Gen Xers think, or the generation coming behind. So you have to leave them something that gives a format, and it will be a format and a solution.
Yeah.
David, go ahead, because I'm about to.
Nah, it's I live for it, man. I want you to do it more. I'm bringing my podcast voice back because
I love
I
it.
get
No,
serious.
yeah.
I sit in it, man. I love it. Like, speak more, man. Like, whatever you do, please. Oh, I keep like, man, go ahead. Go ahead. Go on now. Don't let my Atlanta come out. Go on now.
But seriously, dude, what is something that you had to overcome personally that you think that?
It's hard to answer your question. I'm
know.
still stuck. Yeah, I'm stuck with you talking about the doomsday prophet because it's like to who?
Right.
Right. Because I was reading Exodus 11 and it was talking about how there was going to be a great cry from the Egyptians, but it was going to be peace in Israel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So it's like,
Yeah.
who's doomsday prophet to whom? Because you just let me know what's to come. If I'm in the will, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
What?
if it come to you like that, stay in it, bro.
Yeah.
I feel my Sunday coming back. I feel it. That's why I've been trying to relax.
Sunday on a Tuesday is crazy.
Going up on a Tuesday. Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost.
For me, man, it was, and it's interesting how God keep bringing it to you. Like, I'm a relational person.
You are.
So like my biggest thing, like, you know, Big Bro Jonathan McReynolds, I call like my friends, I call them like nicknames. Well, Big Bro John had, you know, the record People, and it was
Very good record.
It was,
Very good record.
and the People, it's not y'all, man. I was telling Brita, I was like, it's enough money for us to, you feel me?
Yeah.
We can all make it happen.
For sure.
It'd be me.
Wow.
And I'd be having to fight against me. And it was something you was talking about earlier that kind of sparked that, where you was talking about how like the devil tried to attack. He give you, my dad, which is my elder. I call him my Levite. Which he'd say the devil gonna give you symptoms, suggestions, and temptations. And
Very good.
he's gonna kind of whisper it. You coming down with the cold. You coming down. And next thing you know, you full in it. You air flu, everything. Like, you going nuts because you accepted that. Yeah. And I had to, my apostle from my church, man, I love that, man. I love how, like, I pray we all meet him. He's one of those people that he just, wherever he down for, he down for. He gone ho about Jesus. Yeah. And so that means he hates the devil.
I love that.
Yeah.
He hates the devil, and he talks. You would think that man is like crazy. You know, because he like, bro, you better talk to the devil. Talk back to him, and I had to talk back to that part of my flesh.
Yeah.
Because there's no good thing that dwell in the flesh. That part of my flesh that want to like critique me, that want to have opinions about my work, that want to make me live in like this professionalism state. And my sister gave me an episode of Better Together. If you ever watched Better Together, it was just, they doing the same thing, but they just talking about the word. Women in the gospel talking about the word, and I love it. And they was talking about like that's really a ploy of Satan.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Oh man, I don't like the way this. The recording's at 79 dB instead of 80. Right.
Come on.
Put
it out.
Man,
Stop playing.
Let it run it.
But that is a strategy of the enemy to ploy you, to get you to turn on yourself.
Yeah.
That you are now using that creative energy and that creative processing and that thought pattern to go against yourself.
To go against.
And it's crazy because he's using you to put a thought in your mind to talk about you or to speak against you. That is crazy. That is wild because you're the only one that has the power to really, like, your words are powerful.
Oh my God.
They manifest things in your life.
Yeah.
I wake up some days and I'm the first billionaire in my family.
Amen.
Are you okay?
Your words have power.
Yeah.
I'm the first billionaire, sustainable billionaire. No, we're not gonna get there and lose it.
Absolutely.
We gotta add language to language.
Wealthy, not rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I'm both, baby.
Yeah.
I want it in assets and liquid.
Yeah.
Liquid. What? Hello. Is this on? Liquid. I want to be able to pull it out the bank.
And it was something that like the world kind of like gravitated to, that the church kind of was like, And it was when you was watching people affirm stuff, man. And I was so like happy for like those that aren't like, they don't correlate themselves with the faith, but they was exercising.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Because the principles work no matter who you are.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is a seed that can get sprouted, and hopefully this fruit continue to grow. And then next thing you know, you sit next to me in the pew.
Yeah.
You in it. You locked in because you watch God, as you said, provide. You watch God heal. You watch God sustain. All those different things that we know God can be. Like, that be, y'all, mindset is everything.
Yes.
Be renewed in your mind.
As a man thinketh, so is he.
Talk,
I
man.
believe that it starts in your mind. Like
Yes.
you gotta, my mama said, you gotta see yourself successful, Jamal. What you see is what, and then you say what you see, and then you will have what you say. And so I have to set myself up, like you said, with all the knowledge possible, so I can have language for that. Because at certain levels, and I believe I sense this is where we all are. At certain levels, you need the language. You're not necessarily, you don't have it's not that you don't have the skill set or the tools to do it. Now you know about your words having power. Now you need the words.
Yeah.
So we pull the words, and then we're gonna see the next level. Y'all, I appreciate every single one of you. When I see you next, you will be in a new place.
I receive it, bro.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially.
The whole thing.
You will be in a better and a new place.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for sharing these moments with me. I do not take them lightly. That concludes our episode of Frame by Frame. I'm sitting with some of my favorite creatives. And yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.